of the Alfa Romeo F1 Team Stake C43. It's fantastic to have you with us, wherever you are in the world. If you're watching at home via the live stream, welcome. And as you can tell, we have a live audience here in the studio in Zurich. And most of that noise is being made by the 60 members of the team's fan club. Make yourselves known again. It's great to have you with us. It is also great to have the team's new CEO, Andreas Seidel, with us as well. Welcome, Andreas. We also have the team's partners, and we have some very special guests as well, including Marcel Hoops, 6-time Paralympic champion. His wheelchair has some Sauber technology in it. Very warm welcome to you, Marcel, and to Boogie, the creator of our art car. Now, many people have thought of our art car as the winter livery. Well, we're soon going to see the summer livery, the brand new C43. But before we do that, and before we meet the drivers, I'd like to welcome two members of the management here at the Alfa Romeo F1 Team Stake. First of all, I'd like to welcome Managing Director of the Sauber Group and F1 Team Representative, Alessandro Aluni-Bravi, and Technical Director, Jan Monchot. Gentlemen. Jan, wonderful to have you. Alessandro, gentlemen, please join me at the table. Well, that's a welcome. That's a bit of a rock star welcome for both of you. Now, Alessandro, can I start with you? New role, team representative. Tell us a little bit about it, and do you get that kind of welcome everywhere you go? Everywhere you go now?
For sure, it's first time for me in this role. I want to thank you first, our group CEO, Andreas Seidel, our shareholders. It's a very important day for us, the launch of the C43, and for me to be the team representative makes me feeling very privileged and honored to represent Sauber and Alfa Romeo F1 Team Stake, all our employees, all the people that has been working on this project.
Now, we'll hear a little bit more about the car from Jan in just a minute, but it's been a busy winter, Alessandro, for the team commercially. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of the new partnerships we have?
Of course, each winter we work hard, to bring to the team new resources, new partners that can help us also to, I would say, change our style, our approach to be more fresh, more innovative. And this year we are really proud to welcome on board new partners, starting from our co-title partner Stake. So the team will be named Alfa Romeo F1 Team Stake. We have a lot of partners that will create huge activations around our brand, our team. And our vision is to get closer to the fan. With all the partners, we want to really activate, to bring our team closer, to expand our audience. And we will start from today with this first official launch with all our members of the Sauber fan club. And this is the mood we want to have. Get on board, get closer, become part of our family, as a partner, as a fan.
Yeah, welcome to the family at home. Welcome to you guys as well. Now, so much expectation and excitement surrounds the launch of a new car. Can we talk about goals? What would you like to see from the team this year?
We don't want to fix targets. It's always difficult ahead of a season to know where we stand, where our competitors will stand. What we want to do, clearly, is to continue our growth. We want to address all the weaknesses and to work to improve our team in all areas. So we don't speak about single targets, but we want to, of course, to continue our progressions and to have a better overall performance throughout all the season, being more consistent. This is the target.
Okay, thank you for that. Jan, coming to you now. Tell us a little bit more about the C43 project. When did it start? And what goals did you set for your design team?
So the project started couple of weeks after last year's rollout, effectively, where we started drafting the strategy for 2023. And relatively clear for us, we identified areas where we saw there was still potential for us to unleash, potential we wouldn't be able to unleash in the 22 season. And therefore, as you will soon see, we concentrated mainly on the rear part of the car, where we just wanted to be brave enough to do the next step in terms of pure development on the rear end, which opened the door to a lot of other solutions we couldn't implement last year. And then throughout the course of the season, it also became relatively clear that we had reliability issues, which then became order one. So there is also a lot of things we changed on the car, but also internally in terms of processes to address that topic, because historically we were always very strong with the reliability. But last year, somehow we lost a little bit what used to be one of our biggest strengths. So it's clearly, as also Alessandro said, is one of the focus or one of the area of major focus for us this last winter.
Yeah, and there have been a few regulatory tweaks over the winter. How much of a headache have they been?
I mean, we like change, so it's always a new opportunity when rules are changing. We were slightly irritated by the timing because it was decided very late, and usually late changes are favoring bigger outfits, but the changes are mainly on the floor side, where the FIA decided to lift the edges by 15 millimeter. It doesn't sound a lot, 15 millimeter, but that was enough to keep us scratching our head and having to redo all the floor and rear end of the car alongside those new rules. And so far I'm pretty happy about the progress we did.
And do you expect the field to close up this year? Alessandro has already spoken about needing progress from the team this year. If we do that, do you think we can progress up from 6th place in the Constructors' Championship?
I'm expecting, I'm under the assumption that the field will, at least the midfield, will be more close together because of the rules that are in place, limiting the amount of tests you can do depending where you were. So those that ended up behind us could do more, which means, strictly speaking, they should be able to find also more performance. So somehow I'm hoping or thinking the midfield will be more compressed, but this is speculation. I mean, some outfits, hopefully but some outfits might have done a brilliant job during the winter and might have been able to do a bigger step than the rest of the field. But as of today, and then we can have a chat after TO1, Race 01, I would hope, also for the fans, that there will be a fierce battle for the midfield, for the top of the midfield among almost 6-7 teams. So I think it's going to be a season where the amount of grey hair will increase.
Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. 6 or 7 teams all fighting over the same bit of asphalt. Let's hope that happens. Now, Jan, there is an old motor racing adage that a good-looking car is often a fast car. How good-looking is the C43 that we're about to see?
It's probably the worst person you're asking, because it's my baby and the baby. And I won't say it's ugly. I find the car well born. It looks mean. Not only the new geometries, but also the livery, which gives it an additional level of being mean. I find the car pretty sexy, but then again, will it be quick enough? This we will see start of the season. Our hopes are high that we can continue where we ended up the season and fight for those high position in the midfield. But we need to be a bit patient. First, we have homework to do during the winter test to also prepare the first race. So we go step by step. This end of this week, we go to Barcelona. Then we'll go to Bahrain to do testing. And my team and me, we have a lot of boxes to tick. And then the week after, we will go racing and we will see.
Well, busy times ahead. I think the wait is over. Ladies and gentlemen, let's find out just how beautiful the C43 is. And for this bit of the launch, I'm going to hand over to Lawrence Barretto. Lawrence, over to you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Well, I'm here in the events area of Sauber Motorsport, and I'm joined by Valtteri and Joe for the unveiling of the 2023 Alfa Romeo Formula 1 Team Stakes C43. Guys, we're going to pull the covers off very, very shortly, but before we do that, I've got a few questions. Firstly, have you seen the car yet?
Not real life, but I saw some graphics. Looks pretty special, but yeah, in general, it's a different color compared to last year, but I really liked it.
And what about you, Valtteri?
Yeah, same for me. I haven't seen it in real life, so actually really curious how it looks.
Now, as drivers, what is the most important thing that you want to see out of a new car? Great stuff. Well, I'm not going to make you guys, all the rest of the world, wait any longer. Let me just grab that microphone off you, and if you want to take your positions at the front of the car. What a beauty. And this livery is something else. Well, you guys, I'll leave you to inspect this car. It's going to be your office for the next 23 races. And Tom, well, I'll send these guys back to your way shortly for the rest of the official launch.
Wow. Wow. Jan, you were... Isn't it a beauty? It is a beauty. Jan, you are absolutely right. That car is beautiful, it's sexy. I'm running out of adjectives, but it really is something else. A quick congratulations to the guys and girls at Centro Stile for their creativity in helping come up with that design. But look, now that we've seen the car, Jan, just a little bit more flesh on the bone, if we could, about some of its standout features. You mentioned earlier about focusing on the rear of the car. Is there anything more you can tell us about it?
Yeah, in effect, as I mentioned before, we decided to change the rear axis, or redoing the rear suspension, and also therefore the gearbox casing, which then opened the door to new layouts, especially on the cooler side, which themselves, once in place, allowed us to develop the bodywork as we've been doing, which last year during the season was not possible. And the concept we had followed last year, we were of the opinion had come to a sort of plateau, and to unleash the next level of performance, we had to do all those changes. So that's been quite a journey for us, because it's a big complex part we had to redo. And then evidently how all the rear end works with the floor alongside the new rack. So we've really been putting a lot of effort on the second part of the car, while the front will be successively developed during the season.
Now, one of the subplots of last season was porpoising or bouncing. Do you expect there to be a recurrence of that in 2023?
I hope not. I hope not, because it's we have only 3 days of winter testing, and if we were caught in a similar situation than last year, then it would be a nightmare, because if we spend a day and a half in the garage trying to fix a car like happened last year during the first test in Barcelona, then the start of the season would be really at jeopardy. So the hopes are quite high from what the FIA said, and all the metrics, all the methods we've developed in-house, that the topic will be delayed, because you can't really get rid fully of the phenomenon. You can just postpone, delay the moment it gets triggered. And I hope with the changes of the rules and the work we've been doing, also developing the new floor, that it will be delayed up to a point where we effectively never get there and never have the porpoising. Now, the very fact that I said it probably means we will have some porpoising. I just hope it will be another team and not us.
I'm sure we won't. Look, you've mentioned the shakedown at the end of the week. Then we have 3 days of testing in Bahrain. So the shakedown is in Barcelona. The testing is in Bahrain. Just how important is it for the car and the team to have a smooth build-up to race one?
Smooth doesn't mean slow. Huh? That's for my guys at home. It will have to be a quick ramp up. These tests are fundamental. The car is being developed basically virtually on computers, in simulation and in the wind tunnel. And the shakedown is the first big milestone to ensure the cooling layout, all the hydraulic pipes, all the electronic, and believe me, it's an absolutely nightmare. And the guys at home have been doing a brilliant job. Is working, because if the electronic, you know that from your own car, if it doesn't work, the car doesn't arrive. Huh? So it's really the first milestone to tick and start getting a feel from the measurement we can do on track if they are in line with our expectation. And then when we go to Bahrain a couple of days later, it will be better for Santan, because the weather will be definitely better than in Barcelona. And it's about really getting an understanding of the tires, the new tires, because Pirelli is bringing new tires, and preparing the season. So a mix of short runs to prepare, simulate qualifications, but also long runs to effectively get an understanding how these new tires will behave on longer stints. And hopefully having absolutely zero problems of reliability, so that as soon the light turns green, we are out and we are in when it turns red again, because we need to put mileage. We need to really be maximizing the mileage, because mileage is the best way to ensure you have the reliability.
Well, lots of hard work, lots of laps ahead. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the new C43. We've heard about some of the technical aspects of it. There's 3 people we've yet to meet, and I think now is the time to meet the people who are going to be driving this C43. Let's meet our heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are. Our heroes indeed. So, they need very little introduction from me, but the man in the middle is clearly Valtteri Bottas, 10-time Grand Prix winner. On the right, as you look, we have Zhou Guanyu. And who can remember Zhou's amazing debut in Bahrain just over a year ago? And closest to me, Théo Pourchaire, our reserve driver and vice champion in Formula 2 last year. Guys, it's great to have you with us. Can I ask you to come to the table? Come and join us. Let's have a chat. So, can I just say, guys, that's very Formula One of you to have got here so quickly from the factory. Now, Valtteri, it's good to see that you're still looking like an Aussie rules footballer.
Thank you.
You've still got the haircut going on, the tash. It looks like you've had a good break.
Definitely, yeah, had a good break, which is important, because now as we start getting to the season, then we go pretty much full gas until the end of the year. So like a mental reset and physical reset is important. So I'm full of energy and keen to go.
Well, you've been in Formula One for a decade now. Just how excited do you get at the launch of a new car?
You always do. Hours have gone into it that it's a real privilege to, first of all, see the car and then especially drive it, you know.
Yeah, and there's a question. How many hours have gone into the C43?
If you ask my wife, too many. And if you ask myself, probably not enough. We don't count, you know, it's our passion, and we're living our passion. And therefore, when you do something with your heart and with your passion, you don't really necessarily count the hours. It's a concept that most of us don't fully adhere to. So we've been working a lot, and that's what matters. We really, I think, and that's the most important one. The team has been giving its best, and that's always very important to not be then once a car is rolling out like, oh, if I had been, oh no, I won't, no regrets. So, and that's how the team works, and I'm very happy about the final product.
And Valtteri, year 2 for you with Alfa Romeo. What can you achieve? I mean, last year was a very solid start. What about 2023 for you? What are your goals?
We need to achieve, the whole team and myself included. We always need to keep improving. That's what drives us. So expecting, like Alessandro mentioned, better consistency, more points, better results. But how to get there, that's the tricky bit. And that comes from all the details and working really, really hard together as a team.
Thank you, Valtteri. Joe, we'll come to you now. You've been back in Shanghai over the winter. Just how important was it for you to get home and recharge?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that period we tried to switch fully off because from my side, of course, with the 2 years having been back home, seeing family and friends, so that was a very nice time spending there over the holidays. And I really felt like more ready than ever because it was firstly great to catch up with all the people back home in China. And then coming back here, I feel like I was able to training harder, put in more effort in because I feel like I had a nice winter break and now it's time to work. So yeah, it was a lovely time over the last 2 months.
Now, like Valtteri, it's year 2 at the team for you, but it's also year 2 in Formula 1 for you. Just how different is your approach coming into your sophomore year?
Yeah, I mean, all I can say what was very clear was that right now, like last year, I was super nervous and very intense. Now I feel a bit more understanding with the team, with Formula 1 cars. So arriving, let's say, into the first test in Barcelona and then Bahrain test, I'll be feeling a bit more comfortable and a bit more knowing what's coming. And from my side, spending the first year, my rookie season with Alfa Romeo was being extremely honored. And we achieved many highs and also some downs together. But let's say overall, I'm very satisfied with what we've done. And we need to just keep working hard, making a further step up. And I'm sure together we can, make it work.
Well, more points in Bahrain, hey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think at least let's score and finish where we started up last year and get some more.
Now, the car is going to be shaken down in Barcelona at the end of the week. I think a lot of people in the room with us want to know who's driving the car first and how do you decide who gets behind the wheel first? Is it rock, paper, scissors? How do you decide?
No, I mean, it's the team has their own decisions about where to put the drivers in, and we normally split half days. We do half each, and we don't have the final confirmation yet, but at least we get drive equally time. But normally, it's nice to have both drivers doing both days, so you never know the weather condition changes or with the car. So yeah, we always do that also for all the testing, so keep it quite equal. But yeah.
Joey, some good news. We had a look earlier, didn't we, Valtteri? The weather in Barcelona is good for the end of the week. But look, Teo, coming to you now. You're the team's reserve driver. Now, you're going to be racing in Formula 2 again this year. So you have got a busy season ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Very busy season ahead. But I'm very happy, to have this opportunity to be a reserve driver for Formula 1 team. For me, it's an amazing opportunity to grow as a driver, as a person. It's compared to Formula 2, it's a much, much bigger world, much more difficult. But, I'm learning so much. And this year as well, third season in F2, I'm going to give my best for sure. And let's try to win it.
So, trying to win F2 and lots of sim work at the factory. And I also believe you're doing some work experience. Is that right? How's your coffee making?
No. No, for sure. No, I'm working there. I'm living now next to the factory as well, which is good for me. Living in Switzerland, far from my family. It's sometimes a bit difficult, but it's a great experience, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to make a sacrifice, to achieve my dreams. So it's good.
Now, Alessandro, obviously Formula 1 is a team sport, but what do you want to see from these guys, our drivers, this year?
First of all, I want to say that drivers are a very important asset within any Formula 1 team. And we are really happy to have this drivers line up. Valtteri, we know, is a multiple race winner, has been instrumental last year to develop the team with this contribution. Guan Yu has an exceptional start of the season, but he's also developed himself during all the season. I think we have a strong driver lineup We need, of course, each of us to deliver the very best performance for the team, but they are all complementing themselves very well. They work very well together, so the teamwork is one of our key messages, is the spirit of our team, and they represent this team spirit in the very best way. Theo is a strong addition, is young, is talented, is focused on this Formula 2 season, but of course for him will be very important to learn the team, to get known with the team, and I think that, we are really happy, and we need just to start the engine and let's see.
Well, not long to wait. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to our drivers, Valtteri, Joey, and Theo. All right. Now, okay, well done. All right, that is enough questions from me, and we're now going to have some questions from the media who are assembled in the room with us. Who has got our first question, please? Yeah, at the back, sir. Just wait, we'll get a microphone to you.
Hi, this is a question for Valtteri. Apart from racing, how many miles you put on your bike?
It was actually a good off season for that. I spent most of my break in Australia, a bit of time in New Zealand, so obviously it is summertime there. So kilometers, I think in December I had just shy of 2,000, but it was mainly on gravel and stuff, so not so easy kilometers. But yeah, it was good time for that. So.
Valtteri, they say fitness is cumulative. So are you the fittest you've ever been in your life?
I think always as a driver, every year you learn something more about yourself. You learn what works to be fit in the car, but at the same time you learn about yourself what is sometimes good for de-stressing, like what kind of activities and etc. So fitness-wise, from all the numbers, I'm at my peak, at least on the bike. But as the season gets closer, I've started to do more specific training for driving in the gym, etc. So yeah, from fitness side, I think I'm sorted. So.
Joey, are you good on the bike? Tell us a little bit about your training program over the winter.
Yeah, definitely not as good as him on the bike. As many of you might know, bike is probably not my favorite hobby to train at.
Yeah, but you did go to Australia. The weather's good down there.
Yeah, there's more indoor bike than outdoor like Valtteri, but yeah, I does quite a bit more running instead of biking. And yeah, overall, let's say the last few months, of course, it's been enjoying my holidays, and then since mid-January, has been back training to be ready for the season ahead. There's a lot of obviously endurance training for the coming season, the busiest year ever, 23 races, and then followed by neck training, of course, because remembering myself coming from February series to Formula 1, neck was definitely the first pain I felt when I was driving day after day. So that part, I think we're sorted after the whole year last year, but still have to keep it ready.
Okay, thank you guys. Do we have any more questions here in the room? In which case, we're going to join the media virtually. We have media joining us from all around the world. Who has our first question, please? We have, I think, Ed Straw. Are you with us, Ed?
Yes, I'm here. A question for Jan, please. Can you explain in a bit more detail the main areas of change for the car this year compared to last year, particularly the reasoning for going in the direction you have with the rear of the car? Are you confident these changes will improve the rear stability in the faster corners, given that was a problem the driver struggled with a bit last year?
Oh, that's a lot of questions. We've been just seeing also the evolution of those new the cars, the new regs last years, and had to acknowledge that there were a better solution how to manage the flow to the diffuser, so the flow going to the rear tires. But because of the decision we had made on an architectural point of view, we were stuck in a corner. So we effectively been doing the changes. You will, I'm sure, by looking at the pictures, you will notice on the rear axis, as I explained earlier, which then allowed us to have a different cooler arrangement. And this then opened the door to quite a change for us in terms of bodywork and how we handle the hot air coming from the radiators compared to last year's car. So it's not a revolution. Similar solution were on the grid already last year, but it's something we couldn't implement without a major change of the architecture, and it's also what we've been doing there. We also think, and from what we've seen, see some of the weaknesses we had on an aero point of view, which was effectively, in a very simplistic way, high-speed performance has been also significantly improving, thanks to also the new potential we unleashed with this new bodywork and this new way of working the floor between the rear tires. So I hope that answers more or less all the question. And reliability, the car hasn't run yet, so the reliability is perfect, and I just assume it will stay as this. We've spent a lot of effort and working hours to improve our processes internally, mainly on the cooler side, where we had a weakness last year, at least in the first part of the season. And touch wood, I don't have any here, but I'm fairly confident we have left these issues behind us.
Jan, given the changes to the tyres, to the floor, etc., are you expecting lap times to be faster than last year?
I'm not going to tell you that, no. I mean, the rule change, I think order of magnitude came, let's call it half a second lap time loss, which I think I would assume is more or less plus minus a tenth, the same everywhere. And I have no doubt that most of the teams will have recovered those losses. Then it's a matter of how much more have you been able to put onto the car for the start of the season, but even more importantly for us, how much more you can put during the season, because we started very strong last year, and at some point struggled a bit more to also bring performance to the car. And it's going to be a 23 races season, and if there's one thing we also learned last year is that the season is not over until the last lap in Abu Dhabi, because it's the last lap where we finished P6 with half a second ahead of Vettel. And we had highs, we had downs, but we need to also, as a team, and this I think was very clear from all the reviews we've been doing, that we can't give up. Race 1 will be what it is. Maybe it will be very good. Maybe we'll be a bit disappointed. Yeah, okay, turn the page. There's still 22 races, and I have no doubt that these guys, but also the team at home, the 500 people or so, will be pushing very hard to then recover what needs to be recovered, if it is, or build an advantage if we would be on the higher part of the midfield.
All right. Thank you for that. Thanks for your question, Ed. Let's go next to Christian, please. Christian Menat.
Thank you. Another question for Jan, please. You said the main focus was at the rear end, but I guess you did also quite a lot of work on the front wing over the winter. Last year, with the budget cap, we saw a lot of development during the season going on the floor, because it's less expensive than to develop the front wing. How much emphasis did you put on the front wing during the winter break? And is it, I think one of the last big upgrades last year was the front wing you brought to the racetrack, and is it a further development of this version?
So yes, we developed quite late into the season last year and brought a front wing, which I think was in Suzuka, if I remember well. The front end is more difficult in terms of development in the numerical world and in the wind tunnel. Let's say the return on investment is smaller. It doesn't mean there's no performance. I mean, as long as we are not first on the timing sheet, we have performance to grab everywhere. But since you've got limited amount of wind tunnel runs to test you are allowed to do, and you've got also limited resources, at some point you need to also make strategic calls. Where am I investing majority of my resources? And I am more in favor of doing one thing properly than starting 5 different dishes and then end up with solutions that are just marginally better. So the front end, don't worry, we've been working on, and there will be also significant changes being presented, at least at the start of the season. But it's generally speaking for us is an area where we struggle more to put performance because of the constraint also of the regulation than on the floor, which is offering a lot more freedom. So, and I have also when you look at what was done last year throughout the pit lane, there is a clear sign that people have been working harder or bringing more updates on the floors and on the front wing, and it's simply because it's more difficult to bring performance through the front wing with those rules. But there's still performance to grab, no doubt about that.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you for your question, Christian. Next up, Ian Parks, please. Ian.
Hi, Tom. Hi, everyone. My question's for Alessandro. Alessandro, you've been designated as team representative. I wondered if you could outline your roles and responsibilities in comparison to being team principal. How much power of authority do you have as a team representative, and how much will you be drawing on the experience of Andreas to help you run the team initially? Thank you.
Thank you, Jan, for your question. Of course, what we have decided together with Andreas is to change the organizational structure of the team in order to respond to the complexity of all the tasks that each F1 team is facing now. There is no only one structure, that you can have for a Formula 1 team. And so we decided to split the functions between the different profiles, on track and off track. I will be the team representative, meaning that I will work together with Xavi Pujolar, our head of track engineering, together with Beat Zender, the sporting director, but I will have different functions from them. I will represent the team vis-à-vis of the FIA, of the Formula 1, and of course with the media, with the sponsor. We will work as a team. I think this is important, and I think that this structure will help, to address the better way all the tasks that we have ahead of us. It's simply a different structure, and I think that all the teams are developing, all their, I would say, models in order to be more efficient. Efficient is the key word. It's not just a matter of, being efficient at the workshop, but we need to be efficient on track. We have internal processes that we have, of course, agreed all together, and I think, this will be the difference. Team principal is a name. What we have this function of a team principal that are split among different profiles. So myself, Beat Zender, that has huge experience with our team, and Xavi Pujolar on the technical side.
Great. Alessandro, thank you for that. Let's go to France next. Jean-Michel Denis, please. Jean-Michel.
Hello, everyone. A question to Alessandro, please. Alessandro, does the fact that Alfa Romeo is ending its involvement in F1 at the end of the season change the dynamic within the team?
Bonjour, Jean-Michel. C'est un plaisir de te voir. I'm happy to have this opportunity and speak about Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo will be with us for the 6th season and will be a very important season. We start in 2018 with Alfa Romeo. I was personally there, and Alfa Romeo has been instrumental for the growth of the team, not only because we have been able together to attract partners, but also to be credible, to show what is our long vision as a Sauber. So this season is super important. We will do everything, to deliver the very best for Alfa Romeo, for our partners. We are delighted to bring the colors, the red color. This is the Alfa Romeo red color on the car. So it's not the last season. It's a season that we complete this journey together, and we want to finish on a high.
Yeah. Well said, Alessandro. Thank you for your question, Jean-Michel. Let's go next to Shandor Mesauros, please. Shandor.
Good morning, gentlemen. Hello to Andreas as well. My question is to Valtteri. Valtteri, this is your second season in the team. You know the environment, the people, the engineers. Can you please elaborate a bit on your influence as a driver on the development of the car? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Good morning to you as well. It's definitely been interesting. Like I've said multiple times, I think in this team, I feel like my role has been very different to what I've ever had, really, in Formula One. A bit more involvement, a bit more information going through me in a way. And obviously, the work started early last year together. I tried to give all my experience and technical knowledge I could from the past, and then that work continues. Throughout the whole last year, always, whether it's an issue with the car balance or whatever, we always feed him back the best we can. And when I'm at the factory, I like to get updates how things are going. And obviously, if I ever have any ideas or questions, then I ask and we speak. So it's really open situation in the team, and I love to know always as much as I can about all the details with the new car. And I think it's fair to say, like, the setup direction we've gone, the development of the car balance throughout the whole last year has been gone into the right direction, and that work continues. And we'll see with this new car. I think hopefully everything is in even better place in those situations, and we keep working hard.
Joe, can I bring you in just on this topic? Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Valtteri, how you work together in developing the car.
Yeah,
is it completely open in terms of telemetry?
Exactly. It's been like that since the very beginning of 2022. Because let's say my first year joined Alfa Romeo team, I don't know Valtteri too well. So I need to take my time to understanding him, understanding the team as well, together the engineer crew. And it's fair to say that I really enjoyed the first season together, and it's been massive help from inside and out from the team and also from my teammate, because I think many of you might see the clip on the radio in Sao Paulo that Valtteri was telling me some tips during the race. Even though I didn't get that message before I overtook, but it was still, you just really see the team spirit inside and out, and that's really what makes us, try to holding off P6 in the Construct Championship. I think that was very important, and I learned so much of, all this experience people was giving me, and for my rookie season, it just every little details that just can improve my driving ability, driving skills. So yeah, I feel like I'm another step compared to where I was this time last year. So hopefully more to come during the season.
Do you share his passion for coffee?
I actually did.
You do share it? Okay.
Yeah, before last season, maybe I had like 2 coffee in the last 4 or 5 years. Now, yeah, mostly every day, and especially in the race weekend.
Is it Valtteri's own coffee, though?
I tried when we was in the motorhome, and he made some handmade coffee. It's quite delicious, to be honest, and still not at his level of the amount of he drinks, but I have to say coffee makes me quite well awake and stay focused.
Valtteri is a connoisseur.
Sorry,
Great.
just back, nutshell, the question that was asked, I kind of missed I didn't answer it properly. So basically, if the car is quick, I've basically designed it. But if it's not quick, then I had nothing to do with it, so.
In a nutshell, that's what's happening. Jan, I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go to our next question, please. Dieter Renken.
Thank you, Tom. Hi, guys. A question for Jan, please. Jan, last year's car was fundamentally a clean sheet design for obvious reasons, new regulations, etc. Whereas this year's car, as you've outlined, is more of a sort of evolution rather than revolution. What do you and your team prefer, starting from a clean sheet or eking away little improvements here and there?
Good morning, Dieter. I like the orange. It's very orange today. Always, yeah. Effectively, as a small team, we like the challenge of a blank sheet of paper, where I think we also showed last year in a limited amount of time with limited resources, that we were capable of doing things that were not too bad, which means it's what we prefer. Then for your blood pressure and for the stress level is not the nicest, because there is so much unknowns, and up until you see what your competitors have been doing, you are extremely nervous to potentially having gone the complete wrong way, as it can always happen. And the other drawback of the other alternative, which is just a continuous evolution, it comes also to at some point the experience of the team, the size of the team, the resources you have also play a role, and that's an area where we are a little bit less comfortable than some of the big teams around us. So if I could choose, I would like to be restarting from scratch regularly, but then also financially, and again for my blood pressure and for my few hairs, it's not good neither. So every 3-4 years is okay.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you for your question, Dieter. Let's go to Oleg next, please. Oleg Karpov.
Hi, my question is to Alessandro. Alessandro, can you elaborate a little bit more about the responsibilities you will have within the team? And in particular, is there anything new you will be doing next this season that you haven't done before? What are you most looking forward to? And what do you think you need still to learn and understand? And even given your experience in racing.
Good morning, Oleg. First of all, you have always to learn. I approach this with humility. It will be a new role for me in addition to my position as a managing director, so very new, I would say. And of course, I don't have the experience, the competence of other, team principal or team representative. So for me, will be first day to start learning, but I have a strong support from a team, very, competent people, a strong group working around myself. I will be, coordinated and guided by our group CEO, Andreas Seidel. We have Bert Zender on track. We have people like Chevy Pujolar that has huge experience. So I will be supporting them as they will be supporting me, and this makes me comfortable, although I know that I will be facing challenges. But as I said, I will be approaching this with humility. What will be new? Of course, as a team representative, I will be at the pit wall, and I will be also taking part in all the activities with the FIA and the Formula One. So I will be leaving, the race weekend, of course, together with the team. I will be there to support them. I will be there to support the driver. And then what I said some days ago for me is very important, is the target. What is the objective? The objective is to gain respect of all our people working together with me at the factory and on the track. This is the personal objective, and I think nothing new. I'm one of the people working on track, not the most important one. The contribution of each people off and on track is key for the Formula One team as for any company. And I will try to give my best and to contribute a little to the success of this team.
You will do that. Looking forward to having you in the FIA press conferences as well, Alessandro. Look, the clock is ticking here in Zurich, so we are running out of time, but we have time for one more virtual question. Andreas Haut, please, over to you.
Thank you very much. And first of all, hello to everyone. I have a question for Jan. As you've matched the minimum weight already last year, did you build a new chassis for 2023, or is the C43 built on the old one? And if I may ask a short one for Joe as well, where do you have to improve most for the second season in Formula One?
So you start. Right. And so I think
of it, yeah. Firstly, good morning. From my side, I think as a team is quite clear, is the first, let's say, the 100 meters. Beginning of the year, I was improving 1 lap pace to get the confidence to be absolutely pushing on the limit, not making a mistake in quali, and we was able to reach that throughout the season. Let's say summer break was a switching point to improve my quali pace. But then, let's say the start, we are one of the team that couldn't get it most consistent out of it. So I think that's, as a team, we've been working super hard since the last winter. Hopefully, we will be making a further step up and try to be more consistent on my side because there was a lot more, let's say, new tracks for me to learn over the 22 season. So this season, most of the track I drove there, so all this can really take into consideration, and I feel like this year we can definitely making a further step up. But we are, as a team, very clear with the weakness and also the strong point.
Joe, there is still one new track for you this year. We're going to Las Vegas. What do you know of it? Have you had a go on the simulator yet?
Not yet. It's very luxury. I think every driver is very exciting to go there. And the quad tire also is the one I never drove before, so 2 tracks, a little bit less task. But yeah, I say the layout, but we've been focusing mainly on Barcelona bar in preparation for sale of a new car before we put it on track. But really looking forward to drive all these new tracks because it's always exciting. You don't know if you're going to like it a lot or not, but it always gives extra entertainment trying the new things.
Just before we come to you, Jan, Valtteri, have you driven the sim of Las Vegas?
No, I haven't. I don't think many. Well, I hope no team have the scan yet of the track. So I think still waiting for it. But
looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it, definitely. It's going to be
a
good show
memorable
and
weekend.
Good race and hopefully good track.
All right. Jan, sorry.
So I have
back
to
to
answer
you.
that question, on the chassis, if we redid the chassis. The chassis we changed in some areas, and I might be a bit mean, but I will just invite him to look at the pictures and try, like my kids are doing, try to find at least 7 differences between the chassis from last year and this year. And depending how many he can find, he will have the answer to his question himself if we did a new chassis. I'm not going to tell you absolutely everything today, so we can regroup in Bahrain if he's there and discuss the topic.
All right. Andres, are you up for the task? Find 7 differences?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Well, we'll revisit that one in Bahrain. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the official launch. A huge thank you to everybody involved, to my panelists, to Valtteri, to Joe, to Theo, to Jan, to Alessandro, to Lawrence in Hinwil for the official launch, and to you at home, because of course, without you, the fans, all of this is meaningless. And a quick note that you can have the C43 in your own homes via the augmented reality experience that the team has brought together with JigSpace. It's available now, so please do that. But that's it from us in Zurich. It's hard to believe that the first race is less than 4 weeks away. We'll see you then. Bye for now.